Assalamualaikum and hi, we are from Group 10 and today we will present about the Piaget's stages of cognitive development. Before we proceed with the presentation, I will introduce my group members, which are Muhammad Shami Shahi, Siti Mariam Kirtana and Nurul Asna Ashila. I will start explain about the sensory motor period, which involves 0 to 2 years old babies. They learn and understanding about the world by using their senses, which are seeing, touching, sucking, and feeling to interact with their surroundings. The main development during the sensory motor stage is the understanding that objects exist and events occur in the world independently of one's own actions. This cognitive development occurs in this stage takes a relatively short time. Starting from 4 to 8 months of age, the toddlers will begin to use objects to learn about the world.
The second stage of Piaget's cognitive development theory is the pre-operational stage, where usually delays occur in children when they are 2 years old to 7-year-olds. So this is where the children start to able to separate the physical world and mental world. They internally represent the world through language and mental imaginary. Children at this age also has thinking that is still intuitive. That means that their thinking is based on subjective rather than logical thinking because they are not capable of doing logical thinking yet. Child at this age cannot conceive a concept. For example, when there is water in a bottle, they don't have the thinking that the amount of liquid in that bottle is conserved even when we transfer it to the container. And then children at this age also are egocentric. The way they're thinking is more self-centered and they assume that everything is through the way how they perceive things. Okay, next we will look at the experiment.
Satima Inara umur 5 tahun.
Sama tak airnya?
Sama.
Langsung tuang dalam bekas ni. Air mana lagi banyak?
Ada ni. Sama.
Dia sama banyak tak? Tak sama banyak. Apa yang tak sama banyak?
Yang ni. Terima kasih. Bye-bye.
So based on the experiment, we can see that Jean Piaget's cognitive development theory for second stage, the pre-operational stage, is still relevant and true up until this day. So that's all for the second stage of Piaget's cognitive development theory.
We'll talk about concrete operational stage. According to Piaget, concrete operational stage represents an important step in the cognitive development of children. Thinking in this stage is characterized by logical operations such as conservation, reversibility, or classification, allowing logical reasoning. The age for the concrete operational stage to happen falls between 7 years old and lasts till they reach 11 years old. In concrete operational stage, the main goal is to achieve operational thought, where a child can start working things out inside their head. The concrete operational stage allows kids to solve problems without physically encountering things in the real world. In the next part of the video, we'll do 2 activities for concrete operational stage.
Hi, so can you introduce your name?
My name is Nuriza Shakira binti Saini.
Okay, so today I will ask you some question. So as you can see here, the bottle has the same volume. So you can see, is that the same volume?
Yes.
Okay. Now I will open the bottle. So now do you think there is still the same amount or the same volume of water?
it's the same amount.
And why do you think that?
Because we just change the cup and not the volume.
Oh, alright. So excellent. Now we'll move to the second question. So I have two pen right here with me, the green one and the orange ones. So as you can see here, the length of the pen is the same. So do you think the length of the pen is the same?
Yes, I think it's same.
Okay, so now do you still think the pen has the same length, or the green one is longer, or the orange one is longer?
They're still the same.
And why do you think that?
Because we just move the pen,
All
not
right.
the length.
All right. Thank you. That's all from me.
The final stage is formal operational stage. The formal operational stage begins between around 11 to 12 years old. There are four types of characteristics of formal operational stage. The first one is deductive reasoning. During the concrete operational stage, the child learns how to apply logic to certain situations, but they are limited to inductive reasoning. In the formal operational stage, they start to learn deductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning uses observations to make a conclusion. Say a student has 6 teachers throughout their life and all of them are strict. They are likely to conclude that all teachers are strict. They may find that later in life they will change their conclusion, but until they observe a teacher that is not strict, this is the conclusion they will come to. Deductive reasoning works differently. It uses facts and lessons to create a conclusion. The second one is abstract thought. Throughout the child's development, they start to expand their world. In the sensory motor stage, they would consist of only what is directly in front of them. If something is out of sight or earshot, it no longer exists. As they begin to develop object permanence, they start to understand that the world exists beyond what they can physically see, hear, or touch. In the concrete operational stage, children begin to apply the rules of logic of things and rules that they know exist. The third one is problem solving. These skills make solving problems much easier. In the concrete operational stage and earlier stages, children can only really solve a problem through trial and error. As they enter the formal operational stage, they are able to look back at the problem, use past experience and reasoning to form a hypothesis, and test out what they believe is going to happen. This can save them a lot of time. And the final one is metacognition. Children in the formal operational stage are just starting to discover. By using metacognition, they are more likely to assess how they are thinking and transform it into a more effective form of problem solving. Metacognition is simply thinking about thinking. It is the ability to run through your own thought process, figure out how you develop that process, and maybe unwind some things that aren't logical or can be disproven. This can help the children to rebuild their thought process as it were building blocks, creating a more solid structure for them to solve problems. And next, let's watch the video. Your first question is, Amina is 5 years old. Her sister Fatima is 8 years older than her sister. What is Fatima's age?
Fatima's age is 13 years old.
Okay, your next question is, how do you think the world will look alike when there is no light?
Dark.
Okay, thank you.